Page 3 now, doing away with cash bail. California is set to do so. New Jersey already has. And in New Mexico, they found out quickly what a danger to society a no cash bail system can be. New Mexico tried to hold accountable those criminals who were teaching children to commit terror attacks, but they were let go because of the state's no cash bail law. Imagine. Criminals allowed to roam the streets after simply telling the judge that they promise to show up for a trial. They promise to be good. Stunning, but true. Joining me now from Columbus, Ohio, Executive Director of the American Bail Coalition, Jeff Clayton. Jeff, I look at this movement that's happening in California and has already happened in New Mexico, no cash bail system, as an attack on the Constitution, in particular the Bill of Rights, the 8th Amendment. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. Excessive bail, okay, that limits the government from imposing too big a bail, but implicitly it tells the American people that we have a cash bail system. It's right there in the Constitution.
I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. That was about as well put as you could put it. It's a constitutional right. It's been a constitutional right dating back to the Magna Carta. The right to bail helps judges strike this balance between who gets out of jail and who doesn't. And a money bail system is what we have in America and have always had.
I think it dates back to 1,500 years, more or less the 5th century, when the Germanic nomads were in what is now Great Britain, and they were settling things by fisticuffs, and they decided, no, we need to go to a better system. So this is really, it's an attack to me. It's also an attack on our civil society. And so instead, they do something called a signature bond. A signature bond, that's pretty much what it sounds like, right? You sign away and you say, yeah, I'll be fine, and then they let you go.
Yeah, I mean, the people on the left that are pushing this movement think unsecured bail, meaning saying I forfeit a penalty if I don't show up, is the way to go. But if you don't show up, you aren't paying because you fled. And so what the research shows is it has no impact on whether anybody shows up. You might as well just tell them, safe travels.
This is the modern criminal justice version of catch and release, it appears to me. And in California, they're very familiar with catch and release, yet they are poised, in about a year, to do exactly the same as New Mexico.
Yeah, they are. It is modern catch and release. These proponents don't believe that anybody should wait in jail pending trial, period, end of story, end of discussion. And I think that's their ultimate end game, and they're just using the bail system as a means to an end.
Now, to be fair, they're talking about using some sort of risk assessment tools. They don't define, as far as I know, in this law in California anyway, exactly what the risk assessment tools are. Maybe it includes a Ouija board saying, hey, is this guy going to be good? This guy going to be bad? What are the tools?
We don't know, and that's the problem. The way the California legislation has been set up is you're going to be in one of 3 categories: low, medium, or high, and that's it. If you're low, you're good. If you're medium, you're not so good, and if you're high, you're locked up. And we don't know how they're going to get there yet. We don't know how they're going to determine who's what at this point.
Now, the ACLU, which was criticized on this program regularly, initially was for the no cash bail system, now against. Why?
Well, the pivot has been because if you don't have bail that holds somebody in jail, you have to do what's called preventative detention. And in this legislation, in order to get some law enforcement groups to sign on, they said, oh, yeah, we'll detain all these classes of people that we wouldn't otherwise detain. So in this legislation, even though they didn't change the California constitutional right to bail, they're going to deny it willy-nilly based on these risk assessment scores. And the ACLU just doesn't trust them that it may actually increase mass incarceration rather than reduce the jail population, which was their original goal.
One of the few times that myself and this program is on the same page with the ACLU, mark it down on the calendar. This is an attack on the United States Constitution, but it's also an attack on our civil society. And the people who live in these states ought to think about reversing these laws or moving out. Jeff, thanks.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.